And if you're just joining us, thank you. We're chatting with alternatives to violence representatives, Demetria Carter, who is the outreach coordinator, and Erica Thorne, who is the coordinator. We just heard Demetria talk about her relationship with the Hennepin County, which is a different kind of institution, although it's still jail. Want to talk to Erica now, who has done some work in the Stillwater facility. Different facilities. Tell me.
They are.
Are the individuals different?
Yes.
Their behavior, their attention, their reason for coming.
Yes, actually I think yes on all those, but maybe not yes for the reason you might think.
Oh, okay.
Because Stillwater has a much higher percentage of people who, as far as they know, are going to be in prison for life, or people who have a multi-year sentence. The men there know that they're going to be a while and be there a while. And one of the facilitators for AVP who came to AVP in prison and now is out, he said, you know, this is Norman Peoples Jr., he said, you know, it takes about 3 years in prison for somebody to figure out, I'm here, and I am not going somewhere, you know. And so he said there's a shift there, and I appreciate his candidness about that. What we have noticed in facilitating in Stillwater is that the key thing I think that AVP workshops can do are to offer a paradigm shift, a shift of lens from violence as a response to life situations that come at you to nonviolence as a response to those situations. And this is really a critical part, we offer practice in the skills to back that paradigm shift up. That's what I think makes AVP have an impact. And so in a place like Stillwater, we have folks that go through all 3 levels of the workshops and themselves become facilitators.
Oh, there are levels?
Yes.
Oh,
there's basic, advanced, and then there's training for facilitators.
Well, tell me this. An individual is in prison. He knows he's going to be there for life. Why would he choose to come to this workshop?
Because he's probably heard on his cell block. I mean, we've been there for 6 years, you know, so you know, word gets around. He's heard that there are ways in which he may both learn things and also be given an opportunity to dig around, you know, inside, that may make his life, wherever it is, however long it's in prison or not, his life more his own. I think that's what we offer, and I think that's why it's a highly desired program. We have waiting lists on all the facilities.
So then but you do agree that the clients, if you will, in Hennepin County Wakehouse are different than the one in Stillwater? Let
I believe so.
Is your program tailored differently?
Let me make a quick one of that, and then I think in that we know at Hennepin County we're going to have almost never have a chance to do an advanced workshop or a training for facilitators
Because they're not there long enough.
The sentences are you know, 30 to 120 days. So that's a huge difference. And so at Stillwater, when you have someone who's had those 3 years that Norman Peoples Jr. talks about, has realized, okay, I've got to make this work, they I think apply themselves maybe to the advanced and the training for facilitators with more of a like, all right, how am I going to make this a life choice, a final life choice? Whereas I think people in Hennepin County get to have that glimpse, you know, have that possibility. And they don't necessarily get the second or third workshops, and then they're back suddenly in all the pressures of reentry, the enormous stress of reentry. And it is harder. I think, honestly, it's harder.
So that the people in Hennepin County don't get to the 3rd level then, do they, of your training?
Well, they can. And that's one of the things about the community program that we're doing now, that we're really beefing up, is the fact that the people that go through basic, many of them are committed and enjoy the program and will sign up and say, yes, they're interested in being involved when they get out. When they are released, there are, as Erica was saying, there's so much stress with re-entry that oftentimes AVP will fall to the bottom of the list. What we're trying to do is to bond and build that bridge so that when you come out, there's a place that you can go to that you will find a community of people with similar experiences, or even people who just have a different understanding about reentry. That reentry is more than just finding a place to live and finding a place to work. That it's about frustration, and it's about, you know, trying to work with the system, all of those things. And sometimes if you just want to, like, oh, you know, that you can come over to AVP, to our support group meetings on Wednesday nights, and we're going to know how to help you get through that without resorting to something that's violence that you don't want to get involved in again.
That's what I wanted to ask you about, because you talked about your connection to the prison system, but I wanted to know whether or not there's a connection in the community as well.
Absolutely, and that is really key for us, is to stay connected, because there are people who have been lifers, you know, in Stillwater, in, well, not so much Waseca, we just started there, but who have been released. And they were AVPers. They went through all 3 workshops. They were inside lead facilitators. And when they were released, they came back to AVP in the community. We are working to make sure we maintain that connection with people in the jail, in the men's and the women's workhouse. And that we spread that, again, going all the way back to our own community, you know, as African Americans. You know, when you look at the fact that African Americans in Minnesota make up 40% of the prison population, and we only make up 4% of Minnesota's population. So, you know, where part of it isn't about race, part of it is about race.
All right, tell me this. Is there a charge after they get out and they need to follow up?
No.
No charge?
No charge. We offer the workshops, and for what we do particularly is if someone's took their basic inside and then they want to take their advanced and want to become a facilitator, because they started their basic inside, there is no charge for them to complete their full 3-level training. We do have a sliding scale fee for community people who want to come and become facilitators and be involved, but money doesn't stop people.
How about a person who has gone through the training and kind of falls off the wagon? I just, you know, I got it, but I just need a little refresher. Any charge for that?
No charge for a refresher.
Well, tell me, is the training only offered at your office in St. Paul?
In Minnesota, it's either offered at the facilities, the prisons and jails that we're in. We also do community workshops at our office, but one of the unique things about our program is that we have other organizations, for example, churches, some businesses, other places and locations where we will take the workshop to them. Recently we did it at Faith Mennonite Church, where they had a group of 25 people that wanted to take it, so they provided the space, and we went and did our workshop.